is the Lamb seated on the throne. Crowned with many crowns, you reign victorious. High and lifted up, Jesus, Son of God. Good evening, good evening. I would like to welcome you into yet another live broadcast with me, and I want you to just join me with a mood of prayer and to be in that atmosphere of worship as we dive yet into another Bible insight on dreams and visions. And this is so crucial because if there is one part that God has given us is dreams and visions. And most of us, we do experience these things, but we just don't know how to interpret them. So I want you to kindly just comment from where you're watching from. Comment from where you're watching from. And as well as if you have got any questions, just leave them in the comment section. Just leave them in the comment section. Leave them in the comment section. Jesus, Son of God, darling of heaven, crucified. Okay. So I want us to quickly open our Bibles to the book of Genesis chapter 31. Genesis 31. If you are there, just open to verse 10. Genesis chapter 31, verse 10. And it says, "And it happened at the time when the flocks were conceived, that I lifted up my eyes and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the flocks were streaked, speckled, and gray-spotted. Then the angel of God spoke to me in a dream, saying, Jacob, and I said, Here I am. And he said, Lift your eyes now and see. All the rams which leap on the flocks are streaked, speckled, and gray-spotted. For I have seen all that Laban is doing to you. I am the God of Bethel, where you anointed the pillar and where you made a vow to me. Now arise, get out of this land and return to the land of your family." So this was a time in Jacob's life that he married, and his father-in-law was Laban. And along the way Jacob was now working for his father-in-law. And because his father-in-law was not an honest businessman, and then what happened was they made an agreement that all the cattle, all the sheep, all the rams that are spotted, that have got wrinkles and all that, all the rams that seem like they are not healthy, they should be given to Jacob, or Jacob could have them. But all the lambs that are healthy, the lambs that are in perfect shape, in order, those would remain to the father-in-law Laban. And then it happened that when that agreement was made, Jacob one day he slept, and while he was sleeping, he had a dream when there was healthy but spotted lambs, and these lambs would meet with the lambs that are spotted as well, and therefore they would produce children that are spotted but healthy. So based on the agreement, it meant that now Jacob started having healthy but spotted lambs. And this was all happening in his dream until it started taking place. If you read in chapter 30, you see that now it was taking place, that the healthy lambs were now belonging to Jacob. More of like Jacob now had an advantage in destiny, he had an advantage over the agreement, all because of a dream. And as we have read, the Bible says that when he slept, he looked up. He lifted up his eyes. There is a certain eyes that people have. And there is eyes that when those eyes are lifted, people are able to see. Because throughout this whole time, Jacob used to sleep, but maybe he wasn't lifting up his eyes. But on this time around, he lifted up his eyes, and then all of a sudden, he started seeing a revelation. And while he was watching that, the Bible now says an angel came and stood next to him and called him, and he answered. And then the angel now started communicating to him that, do you see what is happening? That the healthy lambs are now the spotted ones. Meaning that based on your agreement, you are going to inherit the livestock of your father-in-law. And it happened accordingly, to the point that now Jacob owned majority of the healthy lambs, and the ones that were of the father-in-law were no longer as much as Jacob's, to the point that even the father-in-law became jealous of Jacob. Now, the point that I want to drive out from this is the fact that Jacob had achieved something based on dreams, or his financial state changed by a dream. One dream changed his financial state, because at one point he came to his father-in-law as a nobody, as somebody with no finances, as a poor person. And then the next thing that now is happening, the man now has a dream. And in that dream, he's seeing something taking place. And then that thing is now manifesting physically, making him wealthy, more wealthy than even the father-in-law. So what I am trying to say is that we need to pay attention to our dreams. But for us to understand is that there are certain eyes that are opened to a dreamer, that once those eyes are opened, you are able to see. You are able to encounter with the spiritual world. As we said that there is another world out there. There is a world